Other than that, my objective is not to get hit with any punches, but as you see, I take them like a professional. It doesn't faze me.
Welcome back to the Big Fight Recap here on BLTV Classic.
He wears no robe. He wears no socks.
On today's video, we revisit Mike Tyson's 1986 showdown with the man Larry Holmes dubbed the second coming of Muhammad Ali, James Quick Tillis.
Quick Tillis, who you've seen from his last fight with Weaver, he's got quick hands and he's got fast feet.
As many of you know, Tillis fought and often came unstuck against the who's who of top contenders and champions during the mid-'80s. However, when he met Mike in '86, he was at the top of his game, bringing an entirely new skill set for the then 19-0 teenage dynamo to dissect, anatomize, and attempt to break down. Let's get right to it.
Looking for the opening. Ali still hasn't thrown a punch in round number one.
Muhammad Ali may have lost his last couple of fights, but once he retired in 1981, a new generation of aspiring heavyweights was brazenly influenced by the man who had dominated boxing's most prized weight class for the last 20 years.
And now it's Witherspoon flicking that jab.
What a move! What a move he just did!
Look at the southpaw.
Southpaw, yeah.
Don't get too cocky.
Greg Page, Terrell Biggs, and James Quick Tillis were a few notable fighters at that time that felt no shame in attempting to replicate the fighting style that made Ali, particularly the 60s version, so successful.
From Myke Tyson that I've seen in the past, you see a lot of movement on the part of Terrell Biggs. Good lateral movement.
While to some, it was just a gimmick, others felt embarrassed by the lack of conviction. Muhammad Ali is the greatest, after all. Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry can throw punches faster than a man half their size, constantly test Newton's law by evading shots, all the while remaining on your toes for the entirety of the contest.
Keeping his hands up nice and high, Williams is.
Tillis is known as an excellent boxer.
In Tillis' defense, there was a natural bounce in his step, a fluidity in his movement that he could maintain throughout the fight, alongside a solid chin and a left hook that Larry Holmes dubbed the best-kept secret in the heavyweight division.
I'm a real cowboy. Ain't never been a real cowboy, fighting cowboy like myself. World-class fighter, real cowboy, world-class cowboy.
Known as the Fighting Cowboy, Tillis grew up on a small stud farm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. When he wasn't tending to his beloved horses, the young cattle hand utilized his home-built boxing gym right there on the same land he cared for the animals on. It was far from cutting edge, but a simple wooden ring was enough to help nurture a talent that caught the eyes of the very man that trained his boxing idol, Angelo Dundee.
He's going to be a heck of a looking fighter, and I'm not kidding myself. He's going to be a champ of the world.
Dundee quickly transformed the half-assed club fighter into a serious contender, beating the formidable Ernie Shavers in 1982, right after a tight-knit loss to Mike Weaver for the WBA title.
You know, and you showed the world here tonight that, hey, Quick Tillis is back, and I'm ready for a championship fight one more time.
While Tillis was putting up yo-yo performances against various contenders, Tyson was cleaning the clock of every man that would dare step in the ring with him.
All of you come get some. Mike Tyson's out here. He's waiting for you. All come get some.
23-pound weight advantage, and he put it all there.
That jaw might be broken.
Jesse Ferguson, along with 18 others, were all beaten inside the distance as they struggled to cope with Tyson's aggression, speed, power, and indomitable will, fueled by his ambition to impress the peering eyes of Cus D'Amato and Kevin Rooney.
How about you rate your performance?
I'm always giving myself a 0. I'm never impressed.
Have you given yourself an A yet?
Never. Perhaps never will.
Probably never will. That's perfection. That's what we're striving for.
Unlike Tillis, Tyson took a vanguard approach to the sport of boxing, training hard every day, pushing the limits of every muscle group, employing the benefits of a strict dietary program. He was a machine, an experiment crafted by a tenacious old man that wasn't worried about the negative mental side effects of such a draconian regimen. Sparring partners had a torrid time dealing with these intense sessions, which cut the field down drastically, leaving only the tough, durable lumps, like Mike Jamison, for example, willing and able to undergo full camps with Tyson, which in turn left the aspiring young champ ill-prepared for the slicker guys in the division, something James Quick Tillis was eager to exploit.
He wears no robe. He wears no socks.
Tyson met Tillis at the Civic Center in Glens Falls, New York on May 3rd, 1986. The packed-out venue was met by a reinvented Iron Mike, who now utilized his intimidating aura to strike fear into his opponent.
Supplemental point scoring in case of a draw. 3 knockdown rule is in effect. He is not running away from Tyson, and Tyson goes to work.
Because Tyson's hands were not tied up. Tillis.
As he has managed to stay away from Tyson's thunderbolts, although he just took a right hand. We'll be back.
Tempers were flaring at the end of the first as Tyson landed a left hand after the bell had sounded. Tillis responded with leather in the second, but Tyson used slips and weaves to avoid taking any serious punishment.
But how low he gets to duck under those punches. In the Olympic trial, the last 6 weeks.
Remember against Jesse Ferguson, then look at the hand speed by Tyson. This is an important learning experience for Myke Tyson. He's going to have to be able to handle a quick Tillis to get to the top of the and he is right now.
Things heated up during the mid-rounds as Tillis surprisingly elected to fight fire with fire, frantically exchanging with Tyson off the ropes.
And Myke Tyson warms to the task once again to Myke Tyson.
Distracted before he got punched. Again, he lunges in and gets close.
The left hand drops Tillis onto the seat of his pants.
A perfectly executed counter left sent Tillis crashing to the canvas as the bell to the end of the fourth was approaching, which gave the fighting cowboy the recovery time needed to recuperate and re-strategize his game plan, starting with eliminating wide, lunging left hooks from his repertoire.
They gave a half-hearted effort in that combination we talked about, the right to the body and the right uppercut. Chopping right hands by Tillis. Tyson waiting for Tillis to open up.
Where they called him Dark Gable. There's a right hand by Tyson. And the uppercut. The knockout. Tyson tries to deliver with the right hand. Good left hand. Tillis is still there. To this. Closing with a flurry. The bell is going to sound.
Tillis shocked everyone by not only taking Tyson the distance, but also putting up a commendable effort along the way, taking some big shots while landing plenty of his own.
So for 19-year-old Myke Tyson, moved the record now to 20 wins, no losses, 19 of them by knockout.
I fought a guy that people don't understand was up for this fight. To the best of his life, he was in the greatest shape of his life, and he was prepared to fight.
How disappointed are you that the knockout string is over?
Not at all. If anything, I feel relieved, and I'm confident if I wanted to, I could have knocked them out.
You have always said that Cuss was always critical of your performances. What do you think Cuss would have said about today's performance?
Well, I got hit with punches that I had no business getting hit with. Well, other than that, my objective is not to get hit with any punches, but as you see, I take them like a professional. It doesn't faze me.
Tillis was never able to motivate himself to produce another quality performance at this level, slipping away from contender status to full-fledged journeyman grade in the direct aftermath.
Morrison able to work the body very well. Still trying to really get himself back in. But good left hand, down goes Tillis.
Various prospects such as Frank Bruno, Evander Holyfield, and Tommy Morrison all wiped him out with ease, whereafter Angelo Dundee wiped his hands with him and the fighting cowboy faded into heavyweight obscurity, fighting for as long as his legs could hold him up, picking up triple-digit fight checks until he hung him up for good in 2001.
I want to fight that little again. You want to fight him again? I fight him again right now if somebody want to promote it shit.
That wasn't the end of the Tyson-Tillis association, however, as after their fight, they became close friends and gym partners, and they even boxed an exhibition match during Tyson's championship prime, helping to raise over $50,000 to help rebuild the Holy Angels Church in Chicago.
They are not out to really injure themselves tonight, but they'll both give a good account of themselves.
The two had promised a light session just to move around and please the crowd, but watching this back, I couldn't help but feel that there was a bit of unfinished business as Tyson threw some knockout shots towards the end.
Tyson has proven that he's so... another good play. The left hand caught Tillis pretty flush there on the head.
Well, again, it's always my pleasure to do something for Father Clement, and I felt good. I needed to work anyway, so it didn't hurt me by any means. And I like to dedicate everything to Father Clement for helping me. And the winner of this fight is the church, Holy Angels.